Hello and welcome to the lecture series on urban transport planning 17CV751 Module 2. So in this session we are going to discuss about commercial vehicle surveys, the formats which are going to be used for commercial vehicle survey, advantages and difficulties, next taxi surveys, some review question and references. Commercial vehicle survey. The commercial vehicle surveys are conducted to obtain the information on journeys which are made by all the commercial vehicle which are being studied within our study area. It means, so this survey is being conducted to obtain the information of a journey which are made by the commercial vehicles only within our external cordon line. Moving on to the next point, this commercial vehicle survey addresses the vehicle operator which has been obtained and they have been contacted. So we can have the questionnaires for the vehicle operator so that we can have the survey information for the commercial vehicles. The forms are issued to the driver with a request that they record a particular of all the trips they would make. It means we'll set some questionnaires so that the drivers can answer those queries and they will give the trip information for the interviewer. To obtain the full information about commercial vehicles, trips taking place within the external cordon, it is necessary to take a sample of all the commercial vehicles which are parked in the area and interview the owner or the driver who is responsible for the vehicle. So it is a usual trend that the vehicles which has been parked in the area is going to be interviewed so that it will not obstruct the mainstream traffic flow and we can have the survey comfortably. So the interviewer will give questions to the owners or the driver is also going to be responsible for answering the queries which is being put forward by the interviewer. Moving on to the next point, it is generally accepted that for a small town or a small study area, the 100% of the sampling is going to be approaching is necessary, whereas for a larger area 30% of the sample is said to be satisfactory depending upon the size of study area. So if the study area is going to be a smaller one or for a small town, 100% data is going to be obtained at the external cordon line or the screen lining. So for larger area we can get a random sampling around 30% seems to be satisfactory. So apart from this, while we going to be having a survey framing or what we say the survey frame, so in that case there is a usual trend that depending upon the area and adjoining or the vehicle registration, usually the commercial vehicle survey is going to be carried out. In some part, the vehicles which has been recently transferred their ownership outside the study area or sometimes the vehicles are going to be scrapped. So in such cases the sample frame is going to be getting altered and the genuinity of the data what we have been gathering from the survey is going to be having less accurate. So moving on to the next point, in the commercial vehicle survey is going to give the information about the two parameter, namely the vehicular information, next one is the journey information. Moving on to the first point, the vehicle information. So the vehicular informations like registration number of the vehicle, type of a vehicle, name and address of the firm or the owner, then the address of the depot from which the vehicle is being started operating, then date and type of vehicle is also going to be given in the vehicular information. It means the information related to the vehicle are going to be included in the vehicular information. Moving on to the next parameter, that is journey information. So this information is related to one-way travel between the two essential stops. It may be or one origin point and one destination point, but it doesn't include the stoppages or the traffic jam or the accident or any other delays which is being caused. It means actual journey information is going to be obtained, that is the length of a travel, average delay we are not considered, average speed is going to be considered from one trip, that is one station to another station is going to be gathered in journey information. It means for the commercial vehicle survey we are going to be getting what is the type of a vehicle, who is the owner, then from which point are the nearest depot where the vehicle is been started operating, then what is the average journey it is been making on our network or from our study area. So moving to the next point, the journeys are going to be numbered, that is the trips are going to be numbered. Trip 1, that is with respect to beginning from one station to another station, is going to be called first trip. It is noted by number 1. Subsequently, if he is going to be making for the second trip, it is going to be consequently numbered as number 2. So on, the origins and the destinations are going to be made for each of the trip is going to be collected. It's just like how many number of trips a vehicle is going to be making in the study area are going to be numbered and the details are being collected. Similarly, as the external cardon counts is going to be taken into account, so we can stop a random vehicle in the external cardon line or the screen line and we can gather the information related to the commercial vehicle. So apart from this, we can have the additional informations like, so what is the commodity, or if the trips is being made from, or what, depending upon the commodity or a goods, so is it an agricultural product or it is an industrial product or a raw product. So likewise additional information can also be got through the commercial vehicle survey, so which is going to be important so that we can have the point of what we say the commercial vehicle survey trip, which is going to be having the survey gives an information related to the raw material, agricultural product, or the distance to be traveled from finished product to the market. So these information can also be gathered in commercial vehicle survey. So as the commercial vehicle survey is going to be exact at the cardon lining, so origin and destination survey or origin and destination information are also going to be within our defined study area, although it is usual to consider the three main purpose, that is firm business, to or from the home, or personal business. It means the firm business means if the finished product is going to be moving from the one station to another station, who is the firm, what is the product it is being delivered. Second one, to and from the home, it means is it going to be from the home base to commercial, so that information is also going to be giving more in terms of purpose. So next one is the personal business. So if any agricultural product it has been traversed through our cardon line, so it is going to be a personal type of a business, or the information is going to be retrieved from the interviewer. So moving on to the format, so it's a typical form for a commercial vehicle survey. So it's just a few questions we can get it within a smaller period of the timing by the interviewer. So first one is the firm or the owner. Who is the owner, or who is going to be the transport agency where which the vehicle is started moving in our cardon line. Then the corresponding address with a telephone number. Next, the person who is being interviewed is going to be taken into account. Next is the visit, so where he is going to be visiting, so that information is going to be gathered. Next is the time and a date, so that is the time at which the driver is going to be called for an interview or the question is been put. Subsequently the date, then interviewer's name and how a sheet number, so 1 2 3 like this, so how many sheets is been used for a particular type of survey. Then the comment, so it means any additional information or the comment so he can give in this form. Then is going to be the sector number and the journal number. So if you are made any sectors or a journal number, so those informations can be put in the alphabetics. So that is going to be if you are given in ABC zoning, or if you are going to be given in terms of a number, it may going to be zone 1, zone 2, or sector 1, sector 2, like this, and subsequently zones has going to be taken into account. So this information is going to give you origin and destination survey and number of trips which is going to be originating from a particular study area. So moving on to the format, the part 1. So that is previously it is a general information we are been getting. So moving on to the part 1, that is business information. So first one, if you are going to be name it as the A, that is a nature of business. So which type of business the commercial vehicle is going to be utilizing. So depending upon that we can have nature of business. Next is the total number of employees. So it may be small scale industry or whatever the type of industry the commercial vehicle is going to be getting used for it. So in that one, so we can have the information with respect to total number of employees, so with male and female, so that is categorization has to be taken into account. Next is number of vehicles operating from that address. It means if a transport agency is operating a commercial vehicle, so how many vehicles he has been operating, and for that particular company, so how many vehicles is deputed to for the operation purpose, that information is going to be collected. Next is day of travel. So how many days of travel is making for to complete one trip, that detail has to be taken into account. Next is the total number of trips made on a day of a travel. It means if it is going to be say some 300 kilometers, so he can make comfortably one to and fro journey. So or otherwise if it is going to be a longer distance, so he can give a number of days, so how many trips he is going to be making from origin to destination. Next information is the type and number of a vehicle which is being interviewed. So just write down the registration number of a vehicle, so then we can have the what we say corresponding details with respect to that particular vehicle. So after that, in the part 2 of the form, that is on the questionnaire form, so we need to gather the information relevant to vehicle trip information. Means the first part is going to be the vehicle which is going to be giving the information related to the type of business and also the where the originating, how many number of trips he is going to be making. The same format, that is in the part 2, the vehicle trip informations related to the type of a vehicle. So is it going to be light commercial vehicle, or it is going to be heavy commercial vehicle, or multi-axle truck, or whatever the format of a vehicle typing we are going to be surveyed, that vehicle type has to be entered in this section. Similarly, the vehicle number, that is the registration number. Next one is a trip number. He is going to be having the first trip or the second trip. So origin, it means where exactly the depot, the what we say the vehicle has started moving, the address, corresponding address, and where he has been reaching, that is the destination, and the corresponding address needs to be entered carefully. So next is the nature of business. So that is the nature of business might be own business, that is some industries are going to be having their own vehicle, or otherwise it is private. So that sector, complete nature of a business, they has to be entered in nature of business column. Next is the time of trip. So where he is going to be starting, say for example in the morning 8 am if the journey is going to be starting. So next if he is going to be reaching the destination by say some 7 pm, so then the start and time period is to be entered correctly. It means it is going to give journey period or time of trip with respect to origin to destination has been concerned. So moving on to the next type of survey, that is taxi survey. So in the previous thing we had explained surveys which is going to be necessary to have details to be collected for commercial vehicle. So this type of survey we are going to be surveying or gathering the information which is relevant for the taxi survey. So that is another mode of transport where we are going to be giving what we say interconnect between any two modes. So it may be personal or private, or we can have the area to be surveyed. The same questionnaires that is going to be used for what we say origin and destination can also be make use in taxi surveying. The first point, for larger suburban area, it is usually to account for a accountable taxes. So usually the taxes are going to be having a separate thing other than the personal cars, hence the taxi surveys are going to be analyzed properly. So next, the questionnaires or the log sheet from the taxi drivers are requested to supply the complete information. It means, say for example, some taxi driver is called for an interview, or if it is put a question from the interviewer, so where exactly the starting point of the journey is started, so how many number of trips in a day he is been making, what is the average journey time he is been consuming, what is the fare per kilometer he is been taking into account, so what are the taxes he is been paying, or the rent is going to be paid, so likewise or otherwise the frequencies of operation, so timing of operation, so likewise the questionnaires are going to be asked for the driver, and the details are going to be collected for the taxis which is been operating within sizable cities. So for a larger area, the questions are going to be given, or the agencies are going to be questioned to have how many vehicles from that agency it is been operating, so those details are also going to be taken into account for the taxi service has been concerned. So in this session we have learnt what exactly the commercial vehicle survey, the details to be gathered in the commercial vehicle survey, the importance of commercial vehicle survey, and moving on to the next type of survey, that is a taxi survey, then the questionnaire is to be put for the taxi survey. For better understanding of this session, we'll have some review question for better understanding. First question, the survey which is conducted to obtain the information related to commercial vehicle is the options: A, roadside interview, option B, home interview technique, option C, commercial vehicle surveys, and option D is going to be none of the above. So as the statement indicates, it's a commercial vehicle survey. Correct answer is C, that is commercial vehicle survey. Moving on to the next question, the satisfactory criteria for the commercial vehicle survey for a larger study area will be option A, greater than 50%, option B, less than 80%, option C, less than 35%, option C, less than 30%. So correct answer is less than 30%. Moving on to the next question, which phenomena will affect the sample frame rate in commercial vehicle survey? Option A, vehicles recently transferred to the new owner outside the study area and it is recently scrapped. Option B, the vehicles are out of service. Option C, only the option A, or option D, both A and B are correct. So obviously D, that is both A and B, that is the vehicle which is recently transferred to the new ownership and which is been scrapped, or otherwise the vehicle is made out of service, is going to affect our sample frame rate in commercial vehicle surveying. Moving on to the next question, the vehicle information that are obtained by commercial vehicle surveys are the option A, registration number of a vehicle, option B, name and address of the owner of the vehicle, option C, vehicle type, and option D, all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above, because in commercial vehicle survey, in the format we are going to be getting the information, that is registration number of a vehicle, type of a vehicle, name and address of a owner of the vehicle. Hence, option D is correct. Next is the fifth question. The survey which is conducted to know the travel made by the taxis is option A, roadside interview, option B, home interview technique, option C, taxi survey, option D, commercial vehicle survey. So as a statement indicates the travel made by the taxis, hence correct answer is going to be C, that is taxi survey is going to give the information related to taxis. So these are correct answers for the review questions. So for this session we had refer Kadiyali LR, Traffic Engineering and Transportation Planning, Kanna Publishers. Thank you.